What's good, man? It's OG Drip, man. This is a channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. Y'all, it's getting deep because when we talk about how to utilize energy, we need to know what energy is necessarily going on. And how do we do that, y'all? We got to know how to tell time. So what I mean by that, we got to know what's going on above us. You know what I mean? Some people say what God is about to do next, or however you want to look at it. So when we break this down, bro, I want y'all to be able to understand. Now when we say as above, so is below, the actual understanding of that, of actually what's going on. So now you know that we have relationships between each other. You may be looking at each other, you always probably wonder, why is it so many of us? Why is it not just one of us or something like that? But see, listen, this is the whole breakdown of it. See, when you start understanding what's above, you'll start understanding what's below as well. So when you're looking at it, you got to understand that you have relationships with people, right? Whether you in a good relationship with someone, whether y'all got bad, whether it's shaky, whether it's not even good or bad, but you can learn from this person or this situation or whatsoever. The same thing, you guys, happen with the planets above us. So now when we looking, we all got to talk about what happens to people when they're not aware of what's going on. See, this is the reason why astrology is important. So yeah, you can know astronomy, you can know about the body all you want, you could, you know, but at the end of the day, what is the planets doing? What is the energy that's you being affected by? Because we have to know that each energy has a degree to it, right? So even when we start breaking down the phases and the planets, we can also understand what Greek mythology, where they were making two gods seem like they go together or in a relationship, or then they'll make it seem like two gods battling it out, or two guys fighting each other. So now this will help you understand that. See, I have to break this down, y'all, before we can even keep going on, because I forgot that, you know, I have a squad that's new to astrology. So I wanted to go back down and break this down. And if you been studying it, hey, hopefully it helped you to be better at understanding things. So boom, moving on. So when we talk about the planets and their relationship, you need to know that the sky is divided into 12 sectors. And these 12 sectors we basically call is the zodiacs. Let's just look at it like that. We don't have to give it that name, but those are names that we all can relate to. You get what I'm saying? So just a breakdown of the names is how we understand things. But we all know it's 12 degrees of the sky. You get what I'm saying? So when we break down this, you need to know that each degrees of the sky, being these 12 degrees, each zodiac shares 30 degrees. You get what I'm saying? So Aries have his own 30, Taurus has 30, Gemini has 30, and so forth around the whole clock. You get what I'm saying? So now if you do the math, 30 times 12 is 360. So now with that, we know that. This is when we say God looking at 360. This is the spin. Basically, you looking up and you're spinning around in a 360. Now God basically will be the one that he that know heaven. So boom, y'all. Now I'm trying to go quickly because I'm trying to keep you guys into it, and I want you to be able to learn and see exactly how things working. So even when you get your natal reading done, you can see how you is affected. So you might have Uranus squaring Mars, Venus sextiling, you know what I'm saying? So when it gets down to that, you need to understand what you're actually reading on your chart. So now let me break down this. These are the five sections of how it's broken down. You have basically when 2 or more planets is less than 8 degrees, or within, you know, 0 to 8 degrees. So they share in the same zodiac. Remember I was telling you each zodiac has 30 degrees. So let's say if Saturn and Venus is in 12 degrees, and let's say Venus is at 12 degrees and Saturn is at 10 degrees. That right there, what you would call is a conjunction. They're both in the same zodiac. You get what I'm saying? So now when we understanding that, we have to understand each one of them, each degrees and breakdown of the planets being in different positions of the sky has different relationships. So that one is the one that we call a conjunction. You know what I mean? 2 planets being in the same sign. You can look at it like that. Now we have something that is when now you have remember the 30 and the 30, right? So 2 30s will make 60 degrees apart, right? So this is basically 2 signs apart. This is what we would call a sextile. Now I'm going to break down each and every single one of them, y'all. But I'm giving y'all the degrees. And as I go through them, I'm going to give you back the degrees also so you can still have the understanding. You get what I'm saying as we go along. So now you have planets that are 90 degrees. This is what we call a square. You know what I mean? So now when you're looking at all this, it sounds very familiar to what you was taught in school, where when it's furthest they trying to teach you in math about what is it called? I don't forgot what it, man. I don't even try to remember their stuff no more because it's so indoctrinating. You get what I'm saying? But either way, y'all know what I'm talking about. Geometry. But anyway, this is what you call sacred geometry. This is where it comes from first. So now when we talk about what's the next thing is what we call 120 degrees. So this is basically 4 zodiacs apart. You get what I'm saying? So this is what we call a trine. Trine. Y'all know how it's said. I be tongue twisted. I don't know what. But anyway, this is the fourth. This is the fourth phase that it may take. You know what I'm saying? The planets. Period. So now when we got 2 or more planets that are 180 degrees apart, this is called the opposition. Now what you got to understand is if you got 360, so let's say Virgo at the bottom, right? And you got Pisces at the top. That is 180 degrees apart from each other. So if Saturn is in Pisces and Venus is in Virgo, that's the opposition from it. You get what I'm saying? Venus is opposing. Venus is opposing Saturn. My bad, y'all. I'm trying to remember which planets I use. So boom. Now that y'all got that quick understanding, bro, let's get down to the deep things. Because what you need to understand is, now that you know that these planets actually have relationships just like you need to understand now how is it effective and exactly what is going on in this phase, right? So boom. Now you have this like this. I'm going to break it down like this. You got the light roll and you got the hard roll. You get what I'm saying? So now y'all going to kind of get an understanding too of where these Masons try to use chaos bring order, because it's true, but to a certain extent, right? So now let's get it in. So now when we talk about the rough rolls, what is the rough rolls? This is the opposition, however you said, and this is also the square. You get what I'm saying? These are the rough rolls, bro. This is the stuff that you don't want to go through. You know what I'm saying? So when these planets is going through this is basically, you don't want to be in the middle of this, right? But I'm going to break it down for y'all to understand why things is different. You know, why this world is inverted also. So now when we talk about the easy rolls, you know what I mean? This the sextiles, this the trines. This is basically when everything is getting along. This is when they both planets or more planets, however, is getting along with each other. You get what I'm saying? Just know that it's more than 2. So when we talk about a conjunction, my bad about that, y'all. So boom. Now we're talking about a conjunction. Let's start off with that. Now conjunction is with the one I was telling y'all when the 2 planets is linked up in the same sign. Now y'all, when we look at our life of being below, right? We look at it like boom. You may have parents or whoever you may live with as you growing up and stuff, and you may see a relationship between them, right? Sometimes it's like a seesaw, right? This is basically a conjunction. You may look at them. They're in the same car together, right? This how the 2 planets in the same sign. Let's look at it like the car is the vehicle. You know what I mean? And the planets are in the vehicle together. So when we looking at that, let's look at it like sometimes they may be getting along. You may be looking. You may be like, man, listen, it's nothing in the world could break that bond. But then sometimes you may look and may see them destroying each other more than anybody else can. So when we understand that, you have to understand what's going on with the planets. So as we have our arguments and sometimes we vibing, planets do too. So this is another reason why it's important to understand astrology. Because now, say, if you utilize the good things, say these 2 planets, you say your parents arguing, right? You come in and be the peacemaker. When a conjunction is going on, that's basically who you got to be. You got to become the peacemaker and be like, no, I want my dad to be around because I want to get, I want to be able to buy more things. And I do want mom to be around because mom know how to cook and stuff. Basically what I'm saying is don't get lost into that. What I'm saying is basically using the good aspects of both planets. You know what I mean? So this will give you the full potential and high energy that you need to be able to take action and take charge into things. Because you don't want to get into the argument now when you got both of your parents yelling at you. You know what I mean? So look at it like that. So when Christian people say that, now let's look at it like that. You don't want God being mad at you. You don't want it being mad at you. So let's try to keep the planets on the good side with you. If anything, okay, they bumping heads, let's try to make them resolve it between each other. So basically what I'm saying, in your body, utilize the planetary alignment. So but also go with your planetary alignment so you'll know which direction to go. So now moving on, man. That's what a conjunction is, y'all. I'm telling you, it get deep now. Now, boom. Now we're talking about a sextile. Oh man, here go to what I'm talking about, the easy roll. Now a sextile is basically when two planets is flirting. So you may say sometimes like y'all can look above, bro. It's just so serious. Like the moon, the planets, all these things be having actual sex and stuff, bro. Like they actually do. And this is where it come from you. So when Christian people be talking about no sex and stuff, what is you talking about? So either way, let's get to it. Now a sextile is basically when the planets is 60 degrees apart. You ever seen someone sitting at a bench and every day that boy over there cocking eyes at that girl? He ain't next to her, but boy, he wish he was. You know what I mean? This is when planets are basically going through that. So y'all ain't together because y'all don't even know what each other's about yet. You don't know if they're a bad person. You don't know if they're a good person. But for all you can see, at those 60 degrees is that you like that. You like that person. You get what I'm saying? So this is basically what the planets go through. So it's basically when us as in the human body, when we start feeling relaxed, feeling like everything is good. You know what I mean? But you got to be careful because when it's time to chill, that doesn't mean you need to sleep. You need to still be paying attention to what's going on because you may be having that planetary flirting going on and you may have done fell out with somebody, right? For example, you know you shouldn't have really been messing with them no more. Now here go this planetary shift coming around and now you feel like you just should open yourself back up to this person. You know what I mean? So now you got to start all over on the work you just did. So we got to be careful because it's easy to be compatible when you're looking at it from that far. You ever looked at people, you ever met yourself, bump that. You ever been in a relationship was like, damn, our relationship was better before we actually went to going together, before we actually moved in, before we actually got married. This is what we talking about. You know what I mean? So you got to understand that. So a sextile could be that little flirty stuff, but you don't really see the bad coming from it because the planets is, 60 degrees apart. Now, boom, let's move on. Now, when we talk about trines, now what you need to understand is a trine is kind of like what you hear of a triangle. It's 120 degrees. Now, each house is 30 degrees. If you look at a triangle has 3 corners. So this is what we're talking about. They actually stole geometry. Sacred. They made it their stuff. So when they say man replaced the image of God, we're going to start understanding more of this the more I break down to you guys. And I hope y'all stay through the whole video, bro. Please, bro. It's good for me and it helps me, especially when I'm going down this and I'm breaking it down for y'all, man. I would really appreciate it. So now when we talk about trines, now we need to understand 30 degrees apart, that means a trine can happen. When this happens, it's all about synchronicity. And it's basically to bring good luck, harmony, and basically positive changes. Now, the reason why is because all the planets is in in the same element. So a trine could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Boom. That's the planetary alignment. You get what I'm saying? So they all in the spirit right now. They all representing fire. So it may be a time when we all sharing something from the spirit where you able to understand it. Like, boy, okay, I feel you. I feel where you coming from. You feel they will. So then you can have a trine where it's in the earth where we all looking at each other logic like, man, I look at stuff like that too. You know what I mean? So then you can have a trine where it's in the air sign where you feel like communicating to these people and y'all getting along communicating that everything is all good. So then you can have a trine where everybody in the same emotion. So this would be the water. So you get what I'm saying? So this is how trines take effect. See now, once your trines, what's going on here is that you're getting a positive outcome, but you have to be careful because when it comes like this like I said, you don't open back up them doors again, and I gotta lead lazy to achieving your goals though. You like I feel so good, and I get hit by these a lot too, y'all. So you be feeling so good, you be like, man, I was gonna do this today, but man, bump that, man. I ain't even on that. You know what I mean? And now you don't let yourself go to waste, and you don't realize if you would have took advantage of it and just shook into that mold, you could have took a full advantage of it. Like take advantage of it when you feel that bit, take it. You feel me? But that's when the trine is coming in effect, y'all. So y'all got to remember that. So now we going down to a square. Now, a square is very intense. You know how when you about to fight and you say, oh, yeah, boy, we finna square off. You know what I'm saying? Or we finna square up. Or box me. You hear where the word boxing come from? Box is a square. You know what I mean? All 30-degree angles, 4 30-degree angles getting ready to battle it out. You get what I'm saying? So now a square, this could hit you where you not necessarily bad, but this is the trying to give you that chaos bring order type stuff. Where like you try to go from this angle and it's like bam. Now you try to go over here and it's like bam. It's like wherever you try to take a step at a jab coming with it. So now when you have planets that's squaring, you got to be on guard. You got to know how to keep guard to what's about to happen. So now as I break them all down to you guys, as y'all can see that due to these planets having these altercations, you may be having altercations where you just getting beat up by energies like you just walking into stuff. It's like, why did I come over here? Why did I go over there? So by you knowing that, you should know where you're walking up at. So that could help you. You know what I mean? So now you can be like, oop, I see why I ain't go over there. This is the type of lesson you're supposed to learn from there. So now last but not least, we have an opposition. Right? Now opposition is like I was telling y'all, the op. You know how you like bump them niggas from that side, the other side? Hey, planets do that too sometimes. Like real talk. Y'all have to understand with astrology, bro. Real gangsters was the first ones that knew astrology. They knew when to bring it. They knew when to bring the action. You know what I mean? They looked up like, hey, it's that time to go ahead and move in on them boys. You know how they be like, it's a time and place for everything? This is what it's talking about. The placement of the planets is basing your time to do something. So now your will. So looking at this, you can see what's going on. So now when we talk about opposition, like I said, the two angles is at an opposite from each other. Now, this is another type of seesaw type behind thing. Because this could make it difficult for two to come together, right? Because it's so far apart, they can't even see each other. It's like, yo, I'm on the east. This is how we got to look at it. It's like a gangster from the east saying, yo, I'm on the east. We got it hard. We ain't got water over here like this and da-da-da. We ain't got the gas, but we got this. And the niggas on the west like, yo, we got all of that, but, yo, we ain't really got no good gas like that. It's like, yo, if y'all two was to get along, it'd be a powerful combination. But it's kind of hard to see it because y'all from the opposite angle. You get what I'm saying? So when we looking at this, you have to understand you is the one that can get between these axes and look from both points of views. But yeah, I feel where you coming from, gangster. That's real. They come from the other end. I feel where you coming from. That's real. So hey, man, how about we planetary, which is I'm saying, go to the spiritual store and use your mind and put it together like, yo, I need to take advantage of this planet, even though it's way over there, its aspects, and the planet way over here aspects. Y'all, I'm trying to get through this video. I allow kids, man. If y'all made it this far in the video, I appreciate y'all, man. And I'm out, man. OG Drip.